Excellent. I
Excellent.
think that seems like we're good to go, Kieran.
Yep. Good
Yeah.
morning, everybody.
Morning, everyone. How are we doing?
Everyone's okay. I'm good. Connor, we're looking out on a frosty, very frosty Dundalk morning here. It's getting very cold. I suppose it's going to be -5 tonight. So
Yeah.
I think it's getting worse. How are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Obviously it's very much the same down here. I haven't turned the heating on in the room yet. It's not
Saving
it's
lives,
not
yes,
that
money.
bad. So hopefully I'll be able
Prebuilt
to
money.
manage
Yeah.
through without shivering. But yeah, look, it is what it
Uh,
is.
uh,
Time of the year, isn't it?
yeah. So we'll kick off. I think the people are now joined on. I can see everyone's come online there. So we'll get going. Do you want to
Cool.
kick off, and then I'll pick up afterwards?
Yeah, 100%. So good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. You're all very welcome to Data Builder's inaugural webinar this morning, Actionable Analytics with Sisense. Before we kick off, I know we had a little nod at ourselves, but I'd like to introduce firstly Kieran Kirk, who is our Operations Director at Data Builders, and myself, Conor McIntyre. I am the Business Development Executive at Data Builders, so I'm the man to reach out to should you have any further questions or queries afterwards, or even if you just want to have a little bit of a gossip. I'm definitely there for that as well. I know you're all very excited to get an extended glimpse into the world of Sisense, but I wanted to give you a brief introduction into Data Builders and who we are for those of you who may be unfamiliar. Next slide. Next slide, please. Oh, it's not working. There we go. At Data Builders, we provide you what we like to call our data intelligence platform, which is made up of a suite of Gartner recognized business data intelligence software solutions that help you build better insights no matter where you might be on your data journey. The three pillars that form our data intelligence platform, as you can see here in this beautiful visualization, are talent, which is our data preparation, data health, data governance, ETL tool, essentially. Snowflake, our cloud data warehouse, and of course Sisense, which is our high-powered BI visualization tool. Of course, should it be necessary, you can take all three, but you don't have to. It's not all or nothing. It's a modular platform because we're vendor partners for each of these products in Ireland. We can provide you with whatever tool and support that best fits your needs now and into the future. For example, you're in the cloud with Azure already and you're reporting through Power BI, which will be natural enough, but you're finding a lot of data quality issues through all your data, through all your connected data sources. Reach out to us, and Talent is what you're going to need, and Talent will help you. Talent cleans, governs your data workflows, enabling you to have better quality data, and of course makes you very, very happy. This in turn generates more usage of your data across different departments. Reporting increases, you've more use cases, and you start to need more dashboards. At which point Power BI becomes costly or inefficient. Perhaps then you start looking at Sisense. That's where we come in again, and we'll be more than happy to help you there. So as you can see, we really do cover the whole spectrum of data management wherever it's necessary, which leads me on to us and who we are. At Data Builders, data intelligence is at the core of what we do. It always has been. We provide solutions to automate data flows, visualize information, and build data insights for a wide variety of customers, including local authorities, government agencies, utilities, communication organizations, gaming, pharmaceutical companies, charitable organizations, cybersecurity. Oh, what's happened there? Sorry. How's that happened? Back. So as you can see, we work across a broad range of customers and industries, and have been working on data projects. Well, Kieran certainly has been working on data projects for over 20 years, so we've a broad scope of experience. Everything we do and software and support we provide is about helping businesses build better insights. Our solutions improve productivity through automated business processes, save time and money with reduced manual data wrangling, empower teams via self-service, data-driven visualizations, and promote interoperability. I was practicing that word for about 10 minutes yesterday. Is incredibly hard to say. By connecting and integrating with hundreds of enterprise systems. It would be a very rare occasion should you have a problem or a goal that we couldn't help solve or achieve. That's us. That's us pretty much in a nutshell. That's who we are. I'd like to hand the reins over to Kieran now because I know he's eager to show you the few bits he's been playing with recently in Sisense. So Kieran, the floor is yours. I'll stop sharing.
Connor. Yeah, thanks, Connor. Good morning, everybody. Let me just share my screen here. And screen and share. Okay, so all right. So if I get rid of that. I don't need that. Sorry, getting used to our new webinar technology. So I was going to give a quick overview of Sisense and then delve into the actionable analytics and how Sisense is used for doing analytics with both Infused Apps and with Blox. So Sisense Fusion is the leading cloud-first analytics platform. It's a modern architecture which is scalable and neat and fast to deploy. So it allows you to connect to any data. So with the Elastic Cube or Elastic Cache, we can connect to things like spreadsheets and files, Excel, Google Spreadsheets, CSVs, and also to web applications like Google Analytics, AdWords, and Zendesk, and pull this data in to the Elastic Cube. And this can be done without any ETL tools. So Sisense does provide a total cost of ownership that's a lot cheaper than other BI tools because it has existing ETL capabilities and some data preparation capabilities. So when you're bringing the data into the Elastic Cube, you can also do manipulations to set the Elastic Cube up as how you want your data warehouse or your data mart to work. But also these days, we have seen the explosion of data and the massive data around the world. So naturally, Sisense can't keep up with that growth in data. So that's why Sisense now connects live query to things like cloud data warehouses like Snowflake, Redshift, and BigQuery. They've also added the latest Amazon tools as well. So and things like Databricks as well. So all the latest high performance data warehouses are all available in Sisense. We can also do live connections to relational databases like SQL Server, Oracle, and MySQL, and PostgreSQL. And then you can bring that together to build customized experiences. So Sisense provides analytic capabilities which are driven by AI to improve the analytics and generate self-service. But also this can be done either with code-free analytics. So we'll be able to create apps and actions without having to do coding, which is what I want to show you this morning. But also there is a coding first analytics tool inside Sisense called Notebooks, which allows for people who like to write Python or SQL or to be able to write that code directly and generate charts and graphs from that. And from that, when we can infuse analytics everywhere, so Sisense can be integrated into cloud apps, it can be integrated into communication platforms, business apps, and workflows. And it's that piece that we're really going to show you this morning, how we can integrate Sisense into your communication platforms like Teams or Slack, and into business apps like Office 365, or Google Sheets or whatever, which I'll show you today. And also with Blox, how we can also create workflows to take actions out of the analytic. So Sisense difference, it's highly extensible. So it is API first. So actually very easy to integrate or to embed. It is the market leader when it comes to embedding and white labeling of analytics into your platforms. It's very much an AI driven platform. So we've got extensible tools for analyzing the data, for doing forecasting, for using natural language querying to actually make searches easy and query, and also then explanations so that you can actually see what's in your data and get text based on the data and the chart that you can use to make it easy for people to use. It's designed for cloud flexibility, so it can run on Amazon, Azure, or Google. And as you can see, it's award-winning in all these different areas. So from a self-service point of view, Sisense provides an interactive and autonomous experience for any user to independently explore insights. So it's a robust visual-based data modeling and dashboard creation solution, provides interactive charts with advanced drill down, and augments insights with AI-powered explorations that narrate narratives and alerts. And all this is done through self-service. So a big push now with data and data democratization is to give the analytics to the people who need it so they can do what they want to do without having to get the IT or business analysts involved. That anybody can actually look at charts and get the results that they need in any platform anywhere. And that's the big push with Sisense. As I mentioned, Sisense also provides a code first option, so you can leverage Python and SQL to deliver ad hoc queries and analytics on a single platform. So you can query the data from any source, visualize results in custom charts, and then boost productivity with integrated workflows and source control. And then you can also leverage SQL or Python within a single platform for both in-depth analysis and the BI that preserves your data security and integrity. Just because you have access and you can write the SQL code doesn't mean you get access to data that you're not allowed to have access to. So that is kept for you as well. So the first thing I want to talk to you this morning is about Sisense BloX. So Sisense BloX is an add-on for Sisense, which is free, which allows you to create actionable analytics. So in Sisense BloX, there's a number of things you can do. You can create iframes so that you can embed web pages or websites or in your application. You can embed pictures to make your dashboards look really nice. And also you can take your layouts and your visualizations and bring them to another level by using blocks to create more of a web page or more of a user experience with the website. Big thing with blocks is the ability to create actions so that you can actually do something, whether that's send an email or write a message to Teams or to fill in a web form and update some data. And then, or if it's to redirect to another dashboard or write back data to a database. And also it can be a nice way to, instead of just using the standard filtering, to provide the user with clear filter buttons that they can very quickly analyze and move through the dashboard. And it really just drives the interactiveness of the dashboard and the analytic to actually show you what you can do with it. So BloX just really brings that user experience forward, makes it so much more user friendly, so much more appealing to end users, which will then grow your engagement, grow your adoption of the platform, and bring on people to using it. So in BloX with the development, it's kind of codey, but it's not. It's very easy to use. It's all driven around containers. So a container allows you to group items together. Inside a container, you have a column set which divides the region, allowing them to sit side by side. And then you have a container. It's a column which defines the container, which is where you put your widget or your iframe or your action button or whatever. So it means very like HTML tables. If anyone has ever done any HTML programming, the columns allow you to structure the page out, put widgets inside widgets, blocks inside blocks, and really come up with a very nice user experience for the web page. The second part of what we want to show this morning is Infused Analytics. So this is how we can transform how people work by integrating analytics into business applications, workflows, process, and products. So with the Infused Intelligence app here, we can internally infuse actionable intelligence directly into business applications and tools used every day to improve productivity, and externally infuse customer experiences into your products, giving them deeper customer insights. This allows you to seamlessly embed data and analytics into processes with personalized, custom-built experiences in any application. So it's really about taking the analytic and bringing it to the apps that people are used to using. So the Infusion Apps is a portfolio of extensions to common communication and productivity tools, which make consuming data from Sisense more accessible and flexible. The Sisense data is then displayed natively in these tools like Google, Slack, Microsoft Teams, and Office 365. And they empower your users to ask and answer questions outside the structure of the dashboard. This is really bringing a new form of self-service. So instead of forcing someone to always launch the dashboard, you're actually saying, well, no, if you're in Excel, if you're in Teams, that your CEO and Teams can just go in and go, what's the total sales this month? How many calls many customer support calls do we have? How many bugs are open in our system? How many jobs have we to close? That this can be done through in simple medium, which is something like Slack or Teams, or people love their Excel, and we're never going to get away from it. A big requirement in most BIs is being able to export data out to Excel. With the Infusion Apps integration, you can do this in a controlled manner, which follows the Sisense security. So people still can only access the data that they're entitled to using their Sisense account, but they can then access it in the system they need and cut down again ETL, cut down the need for manipulation and export of data, and being able to actually do this very slickly in these applications. And I really have found them to be really powerful and really enjoyed. The other piece that's exposed with the Infused apps is the natural language query. So the natural language query tool has been in Sisense for over a year or maybe more, where you can just do simply ask and go in and actually ask a question, and then it'll generate a chart for you. But Sisense have actually made this functionality available inside the Infused apps. So again, if you're in your Teams, if you're in your Excel, that you can run these kind of questions and get an answer based on the data you're given. So again, really making it easy for C-level execs to be able to interrogate data without having to be living in a dashboard or creating their own dashboards. Just totally decreasing the time to insight so that they're able to actually get to their information quickly and be able to get the answers they need. So I'm going to show both of these functionality this morning. So if I go to my page here and I go into my little dashboard. So I have a very simple dashboard set up here. It's a lead generation dashboard, nothing much on it so far. So in it, I've got that there's visits, there's leads, and there's information. So the first thing I want to do is I want to add a Blox control to that dashboard. So you go add widget, and you select your data. So let's pick something, it doesn't really matter, cost, and I go into advanced configuration. So I'm now in the advanced configuration inside Sisense, and I can just change my widget here on the left-hand panel. And in here, I'm able to see the different plugins that are installed, widgets that are in the application. At the very bottom, then we have Blox. So by default, Blox comes up with this very simple banner control, which is welcome to Blox. Okay, so you can see here on the screen is the Blox control, and I can actually go in here. If I go over to my little text here, I can go data builders webinar 20 Christmas. Better. Okay, so data builders webinar Christmas, apply that, and now you'll see I've got that control on my page. And it's like any widget in Sisense, I can drag it around. So I can move it up here, put it up, put it down, move it in, and again I want to put it in front of that one, so I'm just going to put it in the middle. There you go, and now I've got my banner, which I can then configure. So again, if I need to go in and configure it, I can move this widget up to be beside it or whatever I need, and I've got my webinar and I got my banner, and they're standing out there together. So it's just not, let's stick it up there again, sorry. Yeah, and there it goes. And I've now got my first Blox control. So in there, now if I go back in to edit that widget, same as I would edit any other widget, you'll see I've got the code here. I've got a section here for actions. I've got different configuration code, like the script, the title, if I want to show a carousel. But if I want to change that widget, and there's a heap of existing Blox templates in the application that you can use. And the good thing is that you can take these Blox templates and actually edit them to be whatever you want to be yourself. So in this case, I've now used a nice little control here, which shows a picture of an employee, their birth dates, all these kind of things. But you'll see in this control, there already is an action, which is the open in web button. So in that, it already says it'll open up a website. So if I change that to be straight away, I can just go in and go, well, the website I want to be different, and I want it to be databuilders.ie, and I hit apply. And now if I go down to my control and hit open in web, it's gonna, I didn't spell data builders correctly, that's why it didn't work. So if I check that again, and this time type correctly, yeah, put an I in.
Just to show how easy it is to change.
Yeah. It's all meant corner. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so I hit open in web this time, and here we go. Up pops our website. So our data builders website pops up. So we've already got a link. Now you might say, well, that's okay. It's not that hard to put a link in. Now the clever stuff with Sisense, with the blocks is that you can actually interrogate real data and populate real data in the values. So if I want to say add an item here, and I'm going to have country, okay? So now I'm going to say the top text, I'm going to change to be, I've lost it, let me see now, employees, there it is. And I'm going to change that to say countries. Okay, and I'm going to change the next value, which is panel name, to be country. And straight away it says NA, because whatever one I'm picking, it doesn't have any data in it. And again, if I take that, delete that out, and add some other values. So I'll add also the cost, and I got the country, and I can change the second one there to being cost. And it's now 0 because of the data I'm picking. So I apply that, it's picking the value. So, but if I go out to my carousel now, I can skip through and I'm getting the different values that are coming through. Now I'm going to change that because that country isn't a good example. So let me delete that and add another value. And I will do landing page this time. And I'll change this to be landing page. And you can see it's for me and it's showing the different data and where the data is now coming from. And I'm seeing the lead numeration as it's coming through as well. So you can change any value here and it can be brought through. But also any other value you want to be able to change, you can do here. So again, if we had in our database web links that we wanted to have interactive that's stored in the data, this, instead of hard coding this web link, we could actually just use the panel cost and bring a value in and it would work. So we're actually able to bring these values in and use them and change the actions. So anything that's in the dashboard can then be brought out into your widget. So again, if I apply that, you can now see the dashboard and we can see our data. I can also then add in another dashboard, say if I wanted to do the cities, and I wanted to do advanced configuration on that. The rows of cities, and I wanted to go number converted, and I wanted to do conversion rate. So you can then see there's more data in my dashboard, and we can see that different cities are now shown on the dashboard. So as we go through, when we filter out, we will then be able to see what's there. So if I click on my Sisense, you'll see that's at 100%, and my dashboard will filter down. So we can then have, with the actions in our dashboards, one thing you can do is have an action here, which is just to click a filter or whatever on the application. But the other is you can also have buttons on your dashboard that you can use with the widgets with the blocks. So again, we can actually have, if I want to create another blocks, so I'll create another control, add widget, select data, and I'll go straight into advanced config. So now I can get the messages right. Right, let's do it again. Add widget. Yeah, and now I can pick my blocks. And this time you can see other buttons we can have. We can even just pick something like an indicator spark line. So you can then see on that blocks control that if we look at it, it shows the values. We're reading the values in, and it creates a spark line that you can actually use and your total sales and lines from that. So all these templates are there. So another one that I really like is the is this one, which is our filter. That is the indicator. Where's it gone? Oh, templates, and yeah, there it is. Multiple indicator. So this is a nice one that's set up, and you can see what it has is it has the page set up. it has the actions are there, and the lists are here. So you can see the different actions for each button. So we've got Instagram views, we've got the value, and then you got the views. So the information is coming in and different actions. So you can also see in Blox, we have a number of actions. So we've got a button for an inline button, action for a clickable element, but we've also got other actions. So are these which are open URL, so that you can open a website, which is what you can see here. But we've also got a submit button, which once if you want to submit to a form and pass value back from your dashboard. We've got a Blox pop-up, and then we've got the dashboard filter. So being able to actually filter by name or filter by a dimension that you can actually copy. So if you want to use one of these Blox actions, you can just go copy to clipboard, go to the editor, and then you find where the action is in the screen. Sorry, that's keeps jumping up. The action in the screen, and down here you can see we have an action on this one, which is the Sisense. So all we've got to do is inside it is just paste in, and now the new action is in there, and we've now got our action, which is last month, and you can then update that text. So inside the filter, you would just set the filter that you're using. So if we wanted to use a filter, we create the filter here as a dashboard level, and then we can add it to the Blox and then apply the button, and it'll press and move on. So any of the actions you can actually bring in. There are also, yeah, there's a bit of code syntax there. We also have the different values here you're able to use. So if you want a text button, you can actually put the text button in the text area. All these commands are here. You just click on the copy, and then you can paste it to wherever you want in the code. So I'm going to cancel that change because I made a mistake. And you can edit then the Blox control from there. So it's really easy to create these things. You just create your Blox widget, add your buttons, whether it's filter by dashboard, filter by action. If you want to be able to create custom actions, you can do that. So with the custom actions, you can have, like there's one here, which is a demo. If we open it up, you can go edit action. So you can then say, you can put any JavaScript that you want into the action and what you want to do with it. So you can take data from the page, do something within your JavaScript, and then do something out. So in this case, it was just to alert the message and to have a button to alert. And it's really easy to create a custom action. You just have to go create action. And in there, you can write whatever JavaScript you want, and then be able to take the payload and the data from the widget into the action and do something with it. So you're able to do that in the session. And then once the action is created, it's then saved and then becomes a list of your custom actions that you can have. And then again, if your department or if your organization have users who aren't as happy with the coding or the JavaScript, the person with the JavaScript can create these custom actions, can create these widgets and templates, and then they're made available. That's all the person has to do is drag and drop them in and change the panel values, and they can use them straight away. So again, this widget I've said here, if I want to do, I could say save as new template, call it here in one, and then hit save, and that template is now here to be reused. So any changes, any edits you do on the Blox can actually be applied, and you can build up some really advanced controls and really advanced pages that can then be used. And then the user, if they want to create a new widget or if they want to apply that widget, they just have to go in and go templates and apply, and then they can hit that and it'll come straight in and be used. And again, I have some other ones there. So all templates, another one from before, I click it and it changes and it goes back to what I'd done before. So really easy to change these blocks, really easy to code them and customize them. And again, any styles, if the coloring, the yellow from Sisense isn't to your appeal, you can go in here, define your colors, define your styles, and then they are saved into the application as well. So it just really opens up that with the Blox, you can build actionable buttons, actionable filters, make things look really nice in your dashboards, and then be able to present really interactive and user-friendly dashboards that you can use. Now, I just wanted, next thing I want to do is move on to the Infused Apps because I'm conscious of time.
Sorry,
So,
Kieran, very briefly before you do, just have a quick question there. It's from Jaharme. I think you may have mentioned it before, but remind me again, please. Are these dashboards shareable along with the data you put in?
oh yes, 100%. Yeah, so every dashboard, when you create this one, I've created this dashboard. It's a great question. So I can now go share, and I can then enter in the name of anybody. I can enter in someone's name. I'll do my own for now, and then you can then say who that person is, and share it to them, and then they can use that dashboard themselves. So once you create it, you can then share it out, and they'll get an email saying it's been shared, and they can use it. So, and then the Blox controls, any Blox widgets that you create or templates, they're made on the system. So then they're available to everybody to use, as well as you can share the dashboard. So you don't necessarily have to share out the Blox control you might create, but the dashboards, yes, once you create them, they can actually be used. There's Garrett sending me love. They can actually be used in the dashboard. So anything that you create with Blox can be used and sent out. Any other questions, Connor?
No, that's it. That's it for now.
Okay.
Just from
I
me,
have,
do you,
sorry,
on,
I have,
sorry,
I've one more here. Karen, you said Sisense is highly extensible. And what size of data does that mean then?
Oh, well, because Sisense itself with the Elastic Cube can really handle up to, hundreds of millions of rows pretty fast and pretty good. But once you go past that into the kind of, near billions of rows, we really recommend that people use something like a cloud data warehouse, like Snowflake, like Redshift or Azure Synapse, so that it can really then speed up. So the with Sisense, we're able to grow out to massive numbers of data. So we've one customer who spoke at the analytics webinar with Institute conference last month with us, Diaceutics, and they're running 2 billion rows of data in their Snowflake data warehouse. And Sisense is just really easy to handle that kind of data. The other thing that makes Sisense extensible is that because of the API, it can easily integrate into other applications, integrate into other workflows as well. So yeah, really powerful when it comes to big data and handling that kind of huge data.
excellent.
All right. Okay. So the next bit I want to show, just so as concentrate on time, is to be able to. I'm going to create another dashboard. So if I go out of here and go Analytics, create new dashboard, and I'll switch this time and go to retail and create one. So I've got my new dashboard, and this time I want to show you how easy it is to set up the Infused Apps and to work with the data. So in this case, I'm going to have a fact for purchase order. So I'm going to have I'm going to set up a simple table. So it's going to show all my purchases. And I'm going to advanced config and switch that to be a table. So I've got my columns. I want to have a few more values in here. I want to have my fact orders, purchase cost. I'm going to put in discount. I'm going to add in purchase order ID, make it the first record. So I've now created a simple table which shows my purchase order ID, purchase cost, purchase discount, and I might just add in the product name. Okay, so you can see we've now created a simple table in a simple dashboard, and I'm going to apply that. So nothing really too critical there, but I'm going to now click on the button here and of the dashboard, and I'm going to go manage views. So I just need to create my view. So no views are published yet. Yeah, that's fine. So then I want to create my little view here. Sorry. Yeah. Oh yes, I need to. Okay, and then Let's stop that. Yeah, sorry, wrong place for the button. So now I'm going to click on this dashboard and I'm going to say on this widget, publish as view. And I'm going to give the view a name. So it's going to be CK purchases. And it says it's free to grab, which means nobody has used it already. Oh, what happened there? Publishes view. Sorry, CK purchases. Oh, what happened? CK purchases and publish. Okay, so I've now created a view really simply. So I want to set this data up so that it can be accessed by Infused Apps. So once I've created it as a view, I can actually now go over here and say Infuse View Options. So I can say this is the unique identifier. So this field is the unique identifier. I can go to my purchase cost and I can go aggregation and I want to do the sum. I can go to my discount and I can go infused options. And then you can say, is it visible in the view? No, yes or no. And you can also look at other averages or memes or other things you want to do. You can also set fields to have hyperlinks or header fields or whatever you want and how you want to see them. So I might even add another column. So let's say I was just looking at something else here, like supply or stocked quantity, which I want to see in this dashboard, but I don't want to see in my view. So I can actually go infuse view options, visible in a view, no. So I'm not going to show stock quantity. So I've set up a very simple view and published view that shows my purchases, my cost, my discount, and everything I want to see there, and the product name. Okay, and in that I could even say visible in view, header link, or whatever I want to do. Okay, so I can now hit apply, and I've created this simple dashboard, this simple view, which shows my tables. And I want the first thing I want to be able to do now that I've published it as a view. So you can see here, if I look at the dashboard, you can see manage views. I've now got my CK purchases. So it's there. It's now listed as a view in this system. So if I jump out to Teams, and hopefully people aren't messaging me in Teams, we'll be able to see if I go to Sisense Analytics, you'll see now this is the Sisense bot inside Teams. So I can move that out of the way. And what I can actually do is if I type in, it'll then say to me, oh, do you want to see Sisense views? And I say, yes, I do. So I hit enter. And now it will come back and say, oh, well, here's the views you have in the system that you're set up as. And the one view I just set up there a second ago was CK purchases. So if I then put that in and hit go, you now see the data is set up, and I'm now seeing it straight away in Sisense, inside my teams. So again, think about a senior executive who is literally just comes in the morning and wants to know what's my purchases, what's the open cases. That all he has to do is whatever nice name you give it, type that into his Teams chat, and he gets the data. And I can actually go in here and go now analyze data. So I can actually look at this data, excuse me, and it tells me there are 199 purchases. The sum of the purchase cost is 216,000. The discount is 5. The total stock quantity is 12. So straight away, he is getting those answers, or she is getting those answers in the application. And then he can also share this and actually pick a user and share the query and send it out and go, look at this today. Look at what we've been given. Our sales are up, our bonuses are down, whatever it is, we're able to see that inside the Teams. This also works for Slack. We're Microsoft 365 users, we don't use Slack, but the exact same premise works for Slack, so that you're able to just very quickly inside Sisense create a publish view, set up how you want the data to look. So if I go into back into my view here and edit that table, I could turn around and put in an extra filter. So I can add a filter here, and that filter, so if it was filtered by country, it will be, oh, that keeps flicking up. It will then be added and will be exposed in the view. If I'd say I don't want to see purchase cost, I can delete that column. I can apply. So now I've only got them 4 columns. I go back out to my teams. So the analyst has changed how this works. So I can just get my CK purchases again, run it, and give it a second. And now it comes back, but you'll see straight away less columns. So the analyst controls the dashboard, controls the information that they want to send out. Again, in the dashboard, in the table view here, I could be doing, I'm just doing a simple list for this morning. But this could be an aggregated table showing, the best sales, the top sales. So again, if I go in and configure this and actually say for my purchase cost, I want to filter it. So I'm going to filter it and say, well, no, I want to be select from list, or I want to pick certain people. I can pick some values and say I only want certain ones. Let me just do that again. So pick the filter, include all, select from list, or range, or custom, or whatever I want. I can actually say, well, no, it's the top. I want the top tank ranked by purchase cost. Okay. So now it's now the top 10. So that list is now shortened. I apply that. I go back out to my teams. Something wrong here. I'm doing it again. That's why. Let me run it again. And it runs. Did I type that correctly? And now you see the list is shortened. And if I go analyze data, we'll see now there are only 16 tracks, with some purchases down to 83,000. The total stock quantity is 6. So the user in Teams, who's the C-level executive, or the person who has just using the application, doesn't need to know how to create filters in Sisense, doesn't need to know how to use a dashboard. They can actually just figure out what they want to be able to do and run it from the dashboard, run their analysis, change, do queries. Like here, I'm able to change the chart and get the total numbers. And it really then comes down to how the person who creates a dashboard, how easy they create that. But this is real self-service. We talk about self-service and dashboards, but actually being able to have this in an application like this in Teams without having to know how to use a BI, but be able to get the information when you need it is so powerful. And then if we go to Excel, which everyone loves to play in, and I go to Excel and move this Zoho thing out of my way, and I now go.
Kieran, before you move into that quickly, there's another question just on data security. How does data security work for the views? Do both Teams and Sisense email/user need to be the same?
That's a great question. So the sorry, just when I'm doing that, I'm missing the add-on here for Sisense for the add-on. So I need to get add-ins. Sorry, just to show you this is really live. So the oh yeah, admin manage. So I'm actually come on. Oh. Okay. Yeah, sorry, just while I'm doing that, that question on data security, yes. So with the application, we're able to Sisense uses single sign-on. So when the user logs into Sisense, they're given their roles. So they're set up user roles, which are then linked to their user account, their group profile in their logon. So if you're a super user in the enterprise, then you're able to have the application is available there for you, so that the question was, Connor, how is data security? So when the users come in Sisense, we set up users and user groups. They then give data security, so they can only see the data they're allowed to by their groups and their role permissions. because we can set up single sign-on, that can be linked back to the user's enterprise email account. So when they log in using their email account, they're then given the right permissions in Sisense, and they can only get the data that they're allowed to get. So when I was in Teams there and able to get to the information, that was based on my account. When I was in Teams, I was logging in using my Sisense account. So it uses my Sisense email and a Sisense log on to give me rights to the data. So in the Teams chat here, if I didn't have the data security to access this data, I wouldn't be able to see that in the chat. It would block me and I wouldn't be able to see the data. So this here data would filter out based on the information that the data security in Sisense allows me to see. Was that the question, was it?
Yeah, I think that sounds it. Yeah, absolutely. Extensively.
Okay. All right. Now, at the minute, I just noticed my Excel doesn't have my Sisense add-on for some reason. So let me just see now why it's not there. And no, it's on the that there's not refreshing for some reason. It should be shown my Sisense, but it's not at the minute. Okay, just give me 2 secs and I will get that fixed. Let me just I won't be able in time, I think, the webinar. Yeah, so the other side of it is what should be happening, and it's just that the plugin isn't there at the minute. I didn't check it on this PC. Usually there would be inside, if the add-on was installed on this PC, there would be a button here for Sisense, which will allow you to click on it and then do the exact same thing as what I was doing with the Teams, but the difference would be that actually with the Sisense plugin here in Excel, it will then copy the data into your Excel sheet, and you can grab the data and publish it into the spreadsheet. So you can actually get into it from there, and then it can then take it in. So just conscious of time as this coming at the 10th, we're a bit overrunning a wee bit. So then the other thing just to bear in mind with Sisense is with the latest release, we've also got Git-based source control. So you're allowed to now version control your dashboard. So again, as you're creating these kind of more actionable analytics and publishing out more advanced dashboards, you want to be able to keep a version of them and share them securely and manage that whole version history. So with the GitHub integration now in Sisense, that's very usable. If you're interested in getting more information on using Blox and Infused Apps, there's loads of articles on it's not beta anymore, but on the community sisense.com community page, where there's loads of examples that you can actually take advantage of. And yeah, and that's me stop sharing. I think we're on about time. So let me go back, Connor. Yeah. And that's
that was brilliant.
That's everything. Is there another question there?
No, I think we got through them all. That was brilliant. I think it just shows that how easy it is for both people who are familiar, particularly with blocks anyway, people who are familiar with JavaScript and people who aren't. It serves both. And with the Infused Apps, I mean, it just makes it incredibly easy for, particularly as you worked with a small set of data there, but to set up those things with larger data sets to make it easy for the C-suite, for senior executives, and an easier life for the analysts as well. They probably don't have as much people barking at them. They can just set it up quite easily for them,
Yeah,
so no, it's really good.
Yeah. All right. I don't think, have we any other questions? I think we've got everything addressed.
Questions, we all good? A quick look.
Yeah, I think everything's done now.
I think that's it. Yeah, no, we're good.
Okay, well, thanks everybody for taking the time to join us.
Sorry, guys, just one more question has come in there. Can you connect data sources to Sisense like Snowflake?
Yeah, so I can actually show you that just while we're waiting. So if I go into, so Sisense has what's called live connection. So if I go to my retail here, and if I go to data, And inside data, I can actually, you then have the option to go, instead of creating Elastic Cube, that you can also create what's called a live connection. And then I can give it a model. So let's call it Snow1 and hit save. And inside it, then we're able to go add data. And then you choose your connector. So you can see here we have different connections set up. So we've Amazon Athena, we've the IMGS Snowflake account here, Databricks, which has come out recently, Single Store, MySQL, they're all available. And if I'm not sure if our Snowflake is running at the minute, but I click into it. And then it's just a case of clicking into your Snowflake, picking your database. Sorry, everything is in my way here, and hit next. And our Snowflake's not up at the minute, so you can just jump into there. But yeah, we have a lot of customers who are using Sisense and Snowflake together. So with those live connections, you can set it up that like if it's huge data, you can really take advantage of the querying and the performance of Snowflake. So with the live connection, you can set it to refresh in the data where inside Sisense every minute or 2 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever you want to be able to do. You can actually do that with Sisense.
Excellent. She seems very happy with that. Yeah.
Thanks, Kieran. Yeah.
All right. I think we're just about on time. Again, I'm sorry I couldn't just the Excel, the plugin wasn't there for some reason. But usually what we might do is we'll send out a little video or something to the attendees just to show that piece later on. But a really useful way of getting the data out to Excel as well. Okay, I think that's it for today. If anybody has any questions, I think Connor will be reaching out to you, so we're happy to follow up and explain a few things again.
Yeah, or as I said, just for gossip, I'm here for that as well. So
thanks everyone for attending. That was great, guys. Thank you.
All right, thanks guys. Have a nice day.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.